Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to show you how you too can make the body of this cute capybara. This is a quick and easy pattern I hope you'll enjoy. Then, if you want, you can customize it with the pattern instructions you can find in my shop. First things first, materials. For your yarns, you'll need super bulky size 6 yarn in 2 colors, one for the main body and another for the feet, arms, and snout. The yarns I used are in the description. You'll also need a small DK weight yarn for the eyes and snout details. For your tools, you'll need a 4mm crochet hook if working with the same yarn, stitch markers, a blunt needle, fiber fill for stuffing, and Aunt Lydia's crochet thread size 3 for sewing the snout. Please note that the accessories shown are part of the PDF pattern available for purchase in my shop. This video will show you how to make the body. Okay, let's get started. You'll want to start by making a magic circle. If you struggle with closing your magic circles when working with this yarn, I will link a video in the top right corner that talks about how to deal with this as well as other issues related to these yarns. Make 8 single crochets in your magic circle. Okay, I'm making the first stitch of round 2 here and replacing my stitch marker. I'm going to make another single crochet in that stitch, so I create my first increase of the round. This round will be one of the trickiest parts of the pattern, but I will guide you through the whole part. Before I finish my last single crochet, I'm going to attach my accent color to make the ears. You'll do that and then chain 4. Next, wrap your yarn around your hook 2 times to make a treble. Insert your hook in the first chain and pull up a loop. Now go through 2 loops on your hook and repeat that again. Before you go through the last 2 loops on your hook, grab your main color and use that as your loop. Go through both loops now. Continue with the pattern above. I won't speed up anything in this round, so you can see exactly how to make the second ear. But it's the same steps as with the first. If you feel confident, you can skip to the next round. The timestamps are in the description. You'll probably also notice that I am not crocheting over the yarn not currently in use. Rather, I drop it. When I grab it again, I make sure it has some slack to it, so it won't prevent my work from stretching later when I fill it with fiber fill. If you'd like more information on this, I also have a video you can watch. Moving on to round 3. Follow the pattern instructions above. Please keep in mind that there are no stitches under the ears, only on the sides, so make sure you only crochet there. I'll show you what I mean in a second. See here? There are no stitches. They are on the side. This is where you want to crochet next. Now don't go over the ear, but rather come from underneath. I won't speed the other side of the ear either, so you can see how I do that again. This is what the work starts to look like after round 4 and 5 are complete. You're doing amazing. Keep going with the instructions above. While you crochet here, I'll share some neat info about this cute animal. Did you know that capybaras are considered the friendliest critters on Earth? Scientists don't know why, but cappies attract animals of all types, from monkeys, birds, turtles, cats, and even caiman. You'll often see other animals riding on the capybara's back. I grew up in Colombia, where they are well known, so I am happy to see them gaining more popularity in North America. The capybara's nature is something I want to emulate. That is why you can see me holding one in my logo. I want to lift and help others on their crochet journey, just like the capybara does. If you've never done invisible decreases, this is what I'm doing here. You want to go through the front loop of the next 2 stitches rather than go through both loops of the stitch. This will make the decrease less noticeable in your project. Like magic! Make a total of 4 decreases in this round. Round 9 also has some decreases, so remember my tip about going through the front loop only. Moving on to round 10, we will be making the arms. you will make them in the accent color. Remember that to make neater color changes, you want to attach your new color just before you finish the previous stitch. I'll show you that here. Make sure you give yourself some slack before changing colors. Since it's been some distance since I used this color, I'm giving it considerably more slack. Now to make your bauble, make 3 double crochet in the same stitch. Change colors right here before you finish the last double crochet. Then drop your loop and insert your hook in the first double crochet. Grab the dropped loop again and pull it through. As you continue, make sure the arm pops outwards. I won't speed up this part as well as the next arm, so you can see how I do that again. The next couple rounds are pretty straightforward, so I'll leave you be and meet up with you again at round 16. You've got this! We're finishing round 15 here and are now moving on to round 16, where we will make the feet of our capybara. We're going to start off by making a decrease. Then you can continue with the instructions as stated. And remember what I showed you about changing colors with the stitch just before the color change. Now, different yarn choices and tension can cause your work to not line up exactly as mine. Before you make the feet, make sure they are lined up with the arms. If not, crochet more or less before you make the foot. For round 17, all you need to keep in mind is that you will only be working in the front loops. This will help the work start to curve in to give the capybara a flat bottom to sit on. You can now cut your accent color and place the end inside. Begin stuffing your capybara. I take time and care with this part to make sure the shape looks nice. Then you've just got 2 more rounds left. You're almost there. Before you finish round 19, I suggest you finish stuffing the bottom. Cut your end long enough to close the hole. I didn't have to cut mine because I actually ran out of yarn. It was a miracle I had just enough to finish. I got 3 of these capybaras out of 1 skein of yarn, plus 2 failed attempts and a little more for another project. To close it, use a blunt needle and weave the end through the remaining front loops. Then pull gently to close. If you are OCD like I am and would like to cover up some of the places where the accent color is showing through the main color, you can use your end to do this as you weave it in, just like I'm doing now. Let's move on to making the snout. It will only be 2 rounds. To start, make another magic circle and single crochet 12. The tip I shared in the video I mentioned at the start is very important in this part if you are working with the same type of yarn as I am. That way you can close the magic circle easily. For round 2, work 10 single crochet and leave 2 unworked. Go ahead and cut your yarn now. To weave the end neatly, bring it under the next stitch like this, and then under the previous stitch from the back. You can use these ends to slightly stuff the snout later. Place the snout on the face. You want it to go from round 4 to round 8 and be in the center of the ears. Go ahead and pin it down. Using your cotton thread, I used Aunt Lydia's crochet thread size 3. Start sewing the snout down. You'll want to sew through the posts of the stitches in the back of the snout and then on the body. I'll show you how to do this and then I'll speed it up. But you want to do this all the way around. While you still have a small gap left, stuff the ends in under the snout. Then finish sewing. Now to sew the eyes. I'm using a cotton DK weight yarn for this. You want the eyes to be between round 5 and 6 of the body, and to be 2 stitches wide. Also, they should be 1 stitch away from the snout. Come back out the end where you came in. Make sure your eyes are how you want them. You can use the opposite side of your needle to curve them up slightly. Now tie both ends twice. Don't pull too tight or you will make the eyes sink into the yarn. Weave the ends. To sew the snout, you want to come in from the back and out at the top here. Then you go down to the bottom. come out the side on the left. Now go under the center strand and in to the right. Bring the end to the back where you came in from and tie off as you did with the eyes. Use your needle to shape the mouth a little. And you're finished! Congratulations! Remember that you can find the PDF version of the pattern for purchase in my shop. And as a bonus, the pattern comes with accessories so you can customize your capybara for several occasions. I had so much fun making this. I hope you did too. If you did, please leave a like or a comment. And if you're interested in learning more with me and in making more amigurumi patterns, consider subscribing. Till next time!